Hey guys, welcome to another Thank Truck is Friday. This week I'm going to take you through everything you need to know about wheel trims, how to check your tyre size and which ones are right for your truck. Okay, wheel trims. We get asked a lot of questions about wheel trims. Which size is right for my vehicle? I have this vehicle. What type of trim is going to fit it, all that kind of stuff. So the idea of this video is kind of for me to explain the different types of wheel trim, how they fit on, and then maybe you're watching this on YouTube just as part of our Thank Truck is Friday series, or maybe you're on our website trying to figure out which one you need. I'm really hopeful that this is going to help. I'll start from the beginning. Essentially, there's two types of wheel trim. That's the real basics of it. The first type is held on by the vehicle's original wheel nuts. So the ones that are on the wheel as you see it. This is a normal steel wheel on a 22.5-inch wheel. Or you have another type of wheel trim which is held on with a mounting ring that sits inside the rim of the hub here. And then the trim itself screws onto that mounting ring. Now, what's the difference between the two types other than the fitment? Firstly, when you fit a trim with the original wheel nuts, the beauty of doing that is you can still obviously see the factory nut, which means you can still have a wheel nut indicator on there. We sell those from Checkpoint. If you need to check those out, they'll be linked below, which are the yellow arrowed things. So doing your daily checks and checking the tightness of the nuts, that makes that a lot easier. Obviously, with the other trim, they normally cover up everything. Now, they're only held on by like 5 bolts, so you can quickly take them off and check your wheel nuts anyway. It's just a preference thing. If you're a daily use all the time and you want to be checking these all the time, I would definitely recommend that you go with a trim that's held on by the factory nuts. So whilst we're on that, what you see here on this particular vehicle is a steel 10 stud donut ring on a 22.5-inch wheel. That's standard from factories. This particular vehicle is a Mercedes, but there's plenty of other vehicles out there and that's what they come with. We do these in a stainless steel finish. This particular one has got a closed middle. We do them open, as you see it here, a closed middle. We also do some with motifs in the middle here. The way these fit, they're held on by 2 of the original wheel nuts, so you don't have to take all 10 off, you'll be pleased to know. So what you do, if you imagine this one's been removed, you'd loosen off 2 of these. They will go through the front here, through the plates that hold it on. The trim then sits nicely on the wheel and it's held back on by those wheel nuts that you put on. Now there's 2 things on when choosing donut trims. If you have a steel wheel, the standard donut trims are perfectly fine. If you have an alloy wheel, you can still have the donut trims, but we offer those with a slightly bigger hole because the sleeves on the wheel nuts are slightly bigger on the alloy wheels. That's important, so if you do have an alloy wheel, don't order the steel wheel trims because they won't fit. If you have steel wheels and you order the alloy wheel trims, they will fit, but we'd still recommend that you go for the right size hole. So that's a donut that sits on there. What most people do for styling is they'll take a set of donuts and have them on the front, and then they'll also take an American jumbo trim, or what's called a jumbo trim, which is again held on by the wheel nuts, and that will go from the edge of this rim into the wheel nuts here, so that sits flush, and then you mount this donut on top of that, so then you have a full stainless trim all the way around the wheel. Just gives it a nice, more shiny show look, which is nice. There's different styles of those. We have one that kind of step out, we have smooth curved ones that have more like an alloy wheel look. That's down to preference. Again, they're all available on our website, and you can take a look at the different shapes if that's what takes your fancy. And lastly, on the front wheel, with trims that are held on by wheel nuts, you might have, as many I'm sure of you do, you may have a super single wheel on the front, or the mid-lift, or the tag. And there's different trims for super singles. So if you have a super single, you can't fit the American jumbo trims that I just explained. You have to purchase the super single trims, which is essentially a similar trim. So you can see it would sit around the outside there. And these have a different offset. So you have there's a bee come to say hello. You have either a 30mm or a 40mm offset. Now that's pretty standard on most trucks. We would urge you just to double check that. It should be stamped on your hub. If it's not, give us a call, and 9 times out of 10 we can advise you on that. And again, that's just the offset of this inner ring here. It just means that make sure the trim's going to sit flush to the hub of the wheel, basically. So what we'll do now, we'll move down to the back wheel and we'll carry on with trims that are held on by the wheel nuts, and I'll show you what's available for the rear axle and how to measure up for those. Okay, rear wheel, if you hadn't noticed, deep hub. Trims that are held on with the wheel nuts on the rear wheel. Essentially 90% of the customers that purchase those will go for what's called an extra deep rear liner. That's what you see here. That goes straight in over the hub and sits in, is held on by the wheel nuts. That gives you a proper, well, almost proper alloy wheel look. There's two things here you need to make sure you get right when you're shopping for these. You need to check, firstly, the tyre size. Again, this is a 22.5, so you want to be checking that you are on 22.5s. The most important thing, however, is the depth of the hub. Now, we do these trims in two different depths. There's an 8 1/4 and a 9 inch. Now, the way to figure out which ones you need, on the wall of your tyre here, we'll do a close-up of this so you'll be able to see, will be the depth, obviously the speed rating, and then the height, the size as well. So this particular one is a 315, so a 315 will take a 9 inch liner. This is all on our website on the trim, so you'll be able to check that. But essentially you'll either have a 285, if it's a 285, that will take an 8 1/4. You'll have a 295, if it's a 295, it will take the 9 inch. And if it's a 315, it'll also take the 9 inch, okay? And the 22.5, that is where you can check what size this is. That's the key information that you need on the rear wheel. The front wheel, the only key information, like I said, was either, is it a super single or not, essentially. Yes, you still need to know it's 22.5, but that's about it. So this is the key measurement on the rear. Now, what you can do when you do an extra deep liner, you can also cover in the hub. So we do these, what are called vented hub covers. That goes on first, over the hub, and then on top of that, this trim sandwiches it, so that you see there's a lip on that. That's sandwiched onto that trim, and then that will give you a complete wheel look. So it covers everything in, but importantly, you can still see the wheel nuts. So if you have got indicators on there, you'll be able to see them. Just on the wheel nuts, if you do or don't have wheel nut indicators, I should say, we obviously do the stainless steel nut caps. Now these are sized as well, so you need to make sure what size your wheel nuts are. On a 22.5 inch wheel, 9 times out of 10, they're either going to be a 32mm or a 33mm. Two ways to check that. Either ring the dealer up, give them the chassis number and ask them what size wheel nuts are in it, or if you've got the tool, just wind one out and you'll see on the collar the measurement of the wheel nut, and then you'll be able to buy the cover for that. We also supply the tools as well, so you'll be able to take the covers off nice and easy should you need to. And yeah, so that's trims held on by wheel nuts. This is really exciting, isn't it? We'll move back to the front now and we'll go over the trims that are held on by the mounting rings. Okay, back at the front, second type of wheel trim, like I said, they're held on by a mounting ring. Now this mounting ring is kind of, well, it is spring loaded. You have the ring supplied, and then there's a fixing here with an adjustable nut, so you would loosen that off to give you enough slack on it to mount it on the inside rim. We'll be able to get a close up there as well, on the inside rim of the actual wheel there. And then what you would do is you would tighten it up sort of outwards, if that makes sense, to push the pressure out, and that holds the actual rim, or ring, sorry, into the rim of the vehicle. So that then sits in there like so, and then you have the mounting blocks. Now the mounting blocks, if you buy a full set of trims, either the Scandinavian or standard or the deluxe style, you'll get those complete on the ring in the box. In fact, you'll get everything you need if you buy a full set. They have like a captive nutsert or a thread basically within the block, and a little sort of washer on there as well. The trim itself then has holes around the edge of it on the very outer edge. They match up to those blocks, and then also supplied are the wheel nut or wheel trim screws, I should say. They're a specific size screw. They also have a security head on them, so they're not easy just to whip out and steal. Unfortunately, we live in a world with that. So essentially what you do, the ring is already on the vehicle. You then offer up the trim, loosely put in the 5 fixing screws. We give you the security screwdriver as well. Again, that comes in the full set, so you don't have to go out and buy a separate tool. We sell spares of these if you need them, if you lose it. Tighten it up, and essentially what you then end up with, if we just pop the mounting ring down just to show you, is a trim that covers in everything. Like I said, you can't see the wheel nuts. Now this is a deluxe trim, so it's got sort of fake wheel nuts on the outside to make it look like it, but it gives you a really quick and economical way of covering up potentially an older wheel or something for a show, or you know, if you have a horse box or something like that and you just want something easy, something perhaps you only use on an occasional basis where you don't mind having to quickly take it off and check the wheel nuts. You know, these types of trim are ideal for that. They come in, we have them in 17.5 inch, 19.5 inch and 22.5 inch. So essentially that's everything from like I say, a small horse box all the way up to a big tractor unit here. Like I say, all supplied as a set. Everything is available as a spare other than the main stainless trim. So if you do have, and trust me, we have it all the time, perhaps one's been taken off and you might have lost a rubber block, or the rim might have come off, or it might be damaged, or you've lost some screws. Everything's available as spares, and they're all on our website, so you'll be able to find those. The blocks you can buy individually, the rings you can buy individually. The screws come in packs of 10. I think they're about £4.95, so it's not a bank breaker, but they will fit all of the trims we supply. And to be fair, most other wheel trim screws as well, there kind of seems to be one standard size, so you're fairly safe even if you didn't buy the trims from us, and the screwdrivers as well, so we have those available. So yeah, hopefully this has been informative. I've tried to explain it the best I can. If you do have any questions, obviously just pick the phone up, give our sales team a ring. You know, we all know the information, so we should be able to help. If you have any other questions and you don't want to ring us, just post it in the comments below. You know, one of the social team will get back to you as well. So yeah, like I say, wheel trims, we have a huge range. I haven't covered all of the different types of wheel trims here. All of our wheel trims have individual videos on them, so you'll be able to see what they look like. There's a 360 and that kind of thing. This is more educational, so thanks. I hope I haven't bored you. Please like if I haven't. Please subscribe if I haven't. Click the bell notification icon as well, because that means you'll get told when we upload new videos. Millie's back next week, and obviously this video is going to be better than hers anyway, but we won't worry about that. Get on our Instagram. We need some ideas, guys. Tell us what you want to see in these videos. Please get on the Instagram, send us a message, get on Facebook, send us a message, and yeah, tell us what you want to see, because we're running out of some ideas now. Okay, see you soon.